Let's go over the top 10 shooting guards to target in your Yahoo Roto drafts coming up next on Beat the Odds. Don't go anywhere. Hello sports fans and welcome back to another episode of Beat the Odds. I've got my top 10 shooting guards to draft in Roto Leagues. Now if you like the sound of that, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so that way you don't miss an episode. I will be posting valuable fantasy basketball content all season long. Do you have a burning fantasy basketball question that you want an expert to answer? Ask me on Q. Go to askmeonq.com/beattheodds-NBA, submit your question, and I will give you a personal audio response right to your email. You can even send me screenshots of your team so that way I can use that in my review. It's super easy to do and it's a great way to get fantasy basketball advice while also supporting this channel. Now let's dive into this list here. At number 10 we have Brandon Miller. Miller is the third option on the Charlotte squad. Now as I mentioned with Miles Bridges in my small forward video, there is a real chance that Brandon Miller is going to be asked to do more in this offense. And of course that's because I'm figuring that either LaMelo Ball will get injured this season at some point, or Bridges is going to get traded, or Miller just simply exceeds expectations in his growth and blossoms into a true star in this league. Either way, he's a safe bet in the middle of drafts. Let's go to number 9. We have Devin Vassell. With Chris Paul as your lead guard, you can bet that Vassell is going to see some quality looks. Now, Wemby is still going to be the main attraction, but Vassell has a realistic shot at leading this team in scoring. That might be a little bit of a hot take, but Vassell is a solid shooter and a slasher who I expect is going to be showcasing his skill set a lot more within the makeup of this new Spurs team. Let's go to number 8. We have Bradley Beal. Beal makes this list simply because he's a good shooter. He had a bit of a rough first season with the Suns and didn't contribute offensively like we all thought he would, but I expect that we should see a bit of a resurgence from him this season. It's tough to predict what his ceiling is going to look like on this team, given his scoring is going to be capped alongside Durant and Booker. And of course, now with Tyus Jones on the team, he may actually eat into some of Bradley Beal's minutes. Moving on to number 7, we have CJ McCollum. And speaking of capped players, I bring you CJ. There may be too many mouths to feed in New Orleans this year, which is great for the team, but not as much for fantasy managers. I think his numbers from last season could be looked at his ceiling for the year, which means I'm banking on him scoring below 20 points, but still offering some useful rebounds and assist totals. Let's go to number 6. We have Derek White. White is a perfect fit if you've drafted a high-scoring team by the middle rounds. You can hide his fifth option offense in favor of his elite stocks and free throw percentage for a combo guard. Derek White is also responsible with the Rock, where he averages a 3.5 to 1 assist to turnover ratio. Points leagues are his downfall, but Roto and head-to-head leagues are really where he shines. Let's go to number 5. We have Desmond Bane. Now I put Desmond Bane in a tier by himself. He presents himself as an efficient scorer and distributor who will form a tandem with John Morant to take on the Western Conference. Now he's not quite good enough to enter the elite tier just yet, and it's safe to say that we're not really expecting him to take much of a jump this season either. Sign on for a good time, but not a great time. Let's go to number 4. We have Anthony Edwards. Is Ant-Man the best shooting guard in the league? Possibly. There are others on this list that might have something to say about that though. For Roto purposes, he lacks efficiency and he turns the ball over too much for me to give him the mantle. Chances are he'll make improvements to his game in those categories that he needs to change in order to emerge as the top flight shooting guard going into next season. Let's go to number 3. We have Devin Booker. Booker and Durant are as feared a duo as any in the league. Where Durant's age comes into question, Booker has pretty much the green light to put up crazy numbers this year. He's extremely effective in Roto Leagues because of his shooting splits, and I expect that his three-point shot will find more net this year. Don't sleep on him if he falls to the second round. To number 2 we go, and we have Kyrie Irving. Irving can win you championships in real life, and he can also do that in fantasy. He's one of a very select group of players who don't really hurt you in any specific category, and in Kyrie's case, he's going to also bring you very efficient shooting percentages as well. Playing alongside Luka has forced him into a combo guard role, but Irving is such a talented player that he can still find a way to excel at that role as well. And finally, at number 1, we have Donovan Mitchell. While he might not be as durable as some others on this list, Mitchell is the undisputed #1 option on the Cavaliers squad, so his ceiling is truly uncapped. His steal rate was a career high, so I don't expect him to repeat that this year, but even if he doesn't, he still does enough across all categories to be the first shooting guard off the board in drafts. He's likely going to come at a discount, though, later in round 2. And that's going to do it here for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like on the video and, of course, subscribe to the channel for more content like this. I'm going to sign off for now, but I will catch you guys on the next episode.